Hey everyone, today we have another Mocha Flow. If you haven't tried a Mocha class before, it is just like a mochaccino. We've got the coffee that's going to bring the energy, but then we also have the chocolate that brings the sweetness and the slowness. So it's a really nice balance between the two. We are tentatively going to be heading in the direction of our Salamba Sirsasana, our supported headstand. If this immediately is a no for you, that is totally okay. Just know that it's an option, but know that that will be in there towards the end of our class. We're going to begin in a seated position, and if you did have a block, feel free to bring that into your practice. No worries if not. You might like to sit up onto it or a pillow, something of the light just to elevate the hips. Find a tall spine, stacking the shoulders on top of the hips, rolling the shoulders back. And then when you feel ready, either centering your eye gaze on one point in front of you or closing down the eyes. And you're shutting off some sensory input, what we can see, so that we can look more closely inwards. Noticing the breath as it comes in and out through the nose. Noticing the body in space. Are there any particular areas that your mind is being called to within the physical space? Maybe that's because something's feeling tight, maybe you have an injury. You might also notice some more subtle things, such as our energy, how you've turned up in your practice I was going to say this morning, but it could be any time in the day. Are there any thoughts that are present, that are occupying space in the mind? Any feelings or emotions, memories, narratives that are apparent for you? Letting all of these be information and access points, so that when you head into this practice, you know where you might need to go, whether that's to pull it back and to rest more, whether that's to amplify, to challenge. Let's take about another 6 to 8 breaths here before we begin to move. So as you breathe in, filling up the belly, the ribs and the chest. As we exhale, deflating these 3 parts of our thoracic cavity, feeling the belly draw inwards, the ribs close inwards, the chest softens. You might even bring in your Ujjayi pranayama, the constriction of the back of the throat, creating that wave-like sound, helping to slow our breath down. Let's take one more deep breath in through the nose. When you get to the top, hold your breath. See if you can breathe in a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. Exhale out through the nose or the mouth. Open up the eyes. If you've got a block underneath you, just bring it forward. I'm going to start in a Paschimottanasana, forward fold. Feet out in front. Now it's likely that we might be feeling quite tight in our back and the hamstrings. I know I am. So you might bend the knees for the first one. Take a deep breath in, lift up tall. As we exhale, fold forward. We're not going to be here for too long for the first one. Just tuck the chin in towards the chest. Let's get really heavy and passive through the upper back and the spine. Let's take one more deep breath in. And deep breath out. Walk yourself back. Breathe in as you lift your arms above your head. As we exhale, curl the back, start to roll down the spine. Reach your arms forward towards your toes, feeling your lower back come down, then your mid back, then the upper back and the head. Reach the arms up and over, breathe in. As we exhale, curl back up with as little momentum as possible. When you get to the top, breathe in. As we exhale, dive the chest forward, almost like you're trying to reach towards your feet. Maybe they reach past it. Inhale, come back up. As we exhale, lower down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, curl yourself back up. Inhale, lift up. As we exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift. Lengthen the lower back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, draw up, feeling the rib cage draw towards the hips. Inhale, lift. Exhale, dive. We'll make this our last round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, tuck the chin, roll up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hold here. Maybe you notice there's a little bit more space. Now we've warmed up just a little bit more. We are going to be opening through the hamstrings and the spine today because that's going to be helpful when we might head into our headstand. Walk the hands back. Navasana, boat pose, just to get the core a little bit more active. You might have the toes down. Maybe the shins are parallel. Maybe the toes lift all the way up, depending on how you're feeling today. Hands could stay around the legs for support, or you could reach them out. Squeeze the shoulder blades back, lift up through the chest, feeling the front of the hip flexors engaged as well as the mid-core. One more breath. Keep the legs where they are. Bring the hands to the temples, elbows wide. As we inhale, hold. As we exhale, draw the right knee towards the chest. Twist the chest towards the right, left foot lowers. Inhale, reach your feet back out. As we exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist to the right. Draw the right shoulder blade back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist to the left. Let's go about 4 more. I'm already shaking. Trying to keep the torso relatively still, just moving the shoulders. Once we get back through center, hold for an extra breath. And then cross your feet forward. Well done. Roll yourself forward. Bring your feet behind you, setting up for camel pose, just as a way to open through the front of the hips again. You might have your toes tucked or untucked, is up to you. Inhale as you lift tall through the spine, squeeze the glutes. As you exhale, hands behind the back of the hips, push your hips forward. If you did feel like a little bit more, you could reach one hand down to the heel, one hand up. If you're feeling super open already, you could absolutely try 2 hands down. I'm not quite there yet, so I'm going to stick with the one arm. If you are on the one arm, let's just swap to the other side. And then starting to come out. Nice job. Hands down on the ground, tabletop position. Couple of rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, drop the belly down, look forward, cow pose. As we exhale, round to the upper back, cat pose. Inhale, open, scoop the chest forward, squeeze the shoulder blades back. As we exhale, we want to protract through the shoulder blades, let them slide wide, lift up through the belly button. A few more rounds in your own time. Maybe you shift side to side, laterally bending the spine. Maybe you shift forward and back, getting more opening through the hips, maybe the hands. Holding in any places that feel good for you. Feel free to stay with this kind of movement. If you feel like something different, come down to your elbows, kind of moving in the same way, maybe through your cat and cows, maybe shifting forward and back. Noticing how this changes the range of motion. You might notice you can't extend the spine as much. Let's go one more breath. If you're on your elbows, then stay there. Just shuffle your knees back until we land on our belly, Sphinx pose. So elbows roughly underneath the shoulders. You push your forearms down, the hands down, so your chest lifts up a little higher, squeezing the glutes, engaging through the back of the legs as well. You might stay here, or we can lift the elbows off the ground, coming into extended cobra, bhujangasana, and then tap the elbows back down. If you felt like a little bit more, you can slide your elbows back further, so you come into more extension as you lift up. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you come down. Okay, you can absolutely stay with this. If you felt like something different, similar motion but different, a bit more activating through the core and the triceps, you'll bring your elbows back out in front of you, come onto your knees, lift your hips up so you're in a kneeling plank position. What you'll do is that you'll press through the hands, lift the elbows off the ground with your long spine, and then you'll lower the elbows back down. And if you wanted to try this on your toes, you absolutely can too. I'm definitely finding this hard enough. If you're kind of halfway in between, like I am usually, you might be on your toes, but just lift one elbow at a time. And then you work towards trying to get them off as close as you can together. If you're with me, let's try about 2 to 3 more. You're thinking tucking the ribs towards the hips, so you're activating through the core. Maybe there's a subtle squeeze of the glutes if you're in your plank. Okay, come down to the ground again, Shalabhasana, locust pose. Lift your feet up, maybe the hands stay down in front of you, or you could reach your hands behind you. Take one more deep breath in through the nose. Maybe you can lift up a little bit taller And then as you exhale, come down, bring the hands by your ribs, push up and back into Balasana, child's pose. Knees might be narrow, they might be a little wider. Ground the forehead down. Let's take one more breath here. Start to roll yourself forward, plant into the hands, and then tuck onto the toes. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog, Ardha Mocha Svanasana. You might pedal out your feet here, dropping one heel down, dropping the other heel down. Lengthening the arms, drawing the shoulder blades away from the ears. And then finding a moment of stillness, really trying to lift your hips up and back. We're going to move into just a couple of standing sequences. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Uttanasana, forward fold at the back of the mat. Really tuck the chin in towards the chest, let your upper body dangle down, shoulders relaxed, maybe the knees are bent here. Hands walk up to the shins. Inhale as you lift halfway. Hold for your exhale. Squeeze the shoulder blades down the back. Lift up your heels, so you're on your toes. And then bend your knees so that your hips come down towards your heels. Toe stand. Chest is lifted. From this position, hands can come down to the ground if you would like here for more support. Extend your right foot out long. So really long step forward. From here, push through your left toes, shift your weight into your right foot, high lunge. Breathe in as you lift your arms above your head. As we exhale, we soften the hips down a little bit more. Back leg is long, little tuck of the pelvis underneath you, so you're really lengthening through the left hip flexors. Breathe in as you bring your hands to your temples. As you exhale, twist the chest open to the right, drawing the right shoulder blade back, turning the heart space. Inhale, come back through center. As we exhale, open to the left, setting up for star pose. So feet are wide, toes turning to the side of the mat. Take a deep breath in through the nose. As we exhale, fold forward, Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. You might shift side to side here, moving your hips in one direction, moving your hips in the other direction. Hands could be around the sides of the legs, just helping you pull down a little bit more. Let's go one more breath here. Look towards the front, turn your right toes forward, breathe in, lunge. Maybe you lift the chest up slightly. As we exhale, step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Breathe in, hands to shins, lift yourself halfway. As we exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Rise all the way up through standing, take a deep breath in, Urdhva Hastasana, upward hands pose. As we exhale, bend your knees, fold forward, send it straight back down. Lift halfway on your breath in. Exhale, hands come down, step back into your plank position. You might have your knees down for this, or you might have your knees off. We've got 3 Chaturanga push-ups, option 2, also not do them. Inhale, shift your weight forward. As we exhale, Chaturanga, tuck the elbows in by the ribs. Inhale, push yourself back, high plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, back up. Let's go one more. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift yourself back up. Exhale, lower down. Then your back bend of choice. It might be Sphinx, might be Cobra, might be Locust, might be upward facing dog. And then when you're ready, shifting it back, downward facing dog. So a bit of a slower sequence. Nice and sweet, lots of chocolate in this one. Let's go one more breath. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hold at the top. Lift your heels off the ground. And then slowly bend the knees, hips towards the heels. Remember, hands can come down if you would like. Otherwise, hands off the ground if you wanted the challenge. Extend your left foot out. Left heel coming off on the ground. Take it as far to the top of the mat as you can. Breathe in as you shift your weight forward. Lift your arms above your head, high lunge. Exhale, hold. Come high onto your back toes so you're lifting up. You're bending your left knee forward, roughly stacking it on top of your ankle. Inhale as you bring your hands to temple. Exhale, twist to the left. Keep the hips forward. Just let the shoulders turn here. Inhale, come back through center, turn to the right. Sitting up for our star pose, arms wide. Exhale, hold. Toes facing the side of the mat. Take another deep breath in. As we exhale, fold forward, Prasarita Padottanasana. Holding here for about 5 or so breaths. You want to find the tip of the pelvis. So imagine like you had a bucket of water in your hips and you're trying to spill it all out. That's going to help lengthen down the back of the hamstrings, the insides of the adductors. Maybe a pull on the legs with the hands helps with this. Look to your left foot. Breathe in as you turn your left toes forward. Lunge, lift the chest. Exhale, step forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Lift halfway, breathe in. Exhale, fold forward again. Lift all the way up through standing. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, fold it all the way back down, Uttanasana. Lift halfway, breathe in. As we exhale, hands down, step yourself back into your plank position. Just as we did before, 3 push-ups. Inhale to hold. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, press back up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, here's our little kick. Exhale. This time pull through your back bend of choice. Breathe in, push away from the ground, retract the shoulder blades. Exhale, downward facing dog again. A little tuck at the chin, looking in between your feet. Maybe a point even further away. I'm going to take that sequence, add on just a little bit. Walk your hands back towards your feet, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Hands to shins, inhale. Exhale, hold here, squeeze your shoulder blades back. Lift the heels off the ground, breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees, hips towards the heel. Shift your weight into the left foot. Breathe in. Step your right foot forward. Exhale, hold. Shift your weight. High lunge. Breathe in. Arms up. This time as we exhale, straight away, twist to the right, fingers to temples. Inhale, lift the arms back up. We're going to head back into that modified pistol squat. So bend your back leg, lengthen the front leg, sink your hips towards the left heel. Let's try that again. Breathe in, shift your weight forward, high lunge. Exhale, twist to the right, fingers to temples. Inhale, lift the hands back up. As we exhale, sink your way back. Challenging for the balance. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink. Let's go one more half round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. This time open to the left. Star pose. Turn the toes to the side. Inhale, lift up tall. Squeeze the glutes. As you exhale, fold forward. Turn to your right foot. Left fingertips come down to the ground, or maybe they come up to the shin. Right hand reaches high. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hold. You can also use a block underneath your left hand here if you'd like. Turn to the back. Right hand, fingertips on the ground or the block. Breathe in, left hand high. Exhale, hold. Turn back to the front. Breathe in, find your twist. This time keep your right hand lifted. Turn the right toes to the front, and you could stay in your twisted lunge or shift your weight forward, revolved half moon. So left hand might reach down to a block or the ground as you twist your chest to the right, lift up your left foot. So engaging down the back of the legs. One more breath. Drawing the left hip down, the right hip up. Keep your arms wide. Breathe in, warrior three. Arms reaching out in opposite directions, and you might stay here or you can reach them above your head for more challenge. One more breath. Inhale, lift all the way up through standing, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands lift. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Lift halfway, breathe in. Exhale, hands come down. Step back into your plank. So you could go for 3, you could go for none, you could go for 5 with me. Inhale, hold. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Making sure that the core stays really tight as we move, so we're not dropping through the lower back. And if we do feel that, feel free to come down onto your knees. I think that was 5. Once you've done about 5, you can pull through back bend of choice. Maybe this time we'll come into child's pose. Knees come down, hips come back. That definitely got the heart rate up for me. And good news that your weight forward, plant into the hands, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet, fold forward, Uttanasana, really let your crown of the head pull down to the ground. Halfway left, breathe in, long spine, exhale, hold. Lift your heels off the ground and then bend your knees, hips towards the heels. This time it is your left foot stepping forward. Use your next breath in, shift your weight forward, high lunge, lift the arms. As we exhale, twist, hands to temples. Oh, pardon me. Inhale, lift your arms back up. As we exhale, sweep the arms down, bend your back knee, hips towards the right heel. Inhale, lift, high lunge. Exhale, twist, maybe drop the hips a little lower. Inhale, lift the arms. As we exhale, sweep, lift up your left foot, or your left toe, sorry. Inhale, sweep forward. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last half one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, but this time turn to the right. Exhale, star pose. Feet wide, arms out, breathe in. Exhale, fold forward. So remember, toes facing the side of the mat, parallel with the back and the front of the mat. Look to your left foot, right hand plants down, maybe to a block, the ground, the leg, breathe in, left hand high. Find that bucket of water, can you tip it out? Exhale. Come back through center, head to the back, breathe in, right hand high. Hold for your exhale. Come back to the front, breathe in, left hand high. This time hold here. Turn your left toes forward. You might hang out in a twisted lunge or look forward, shift your weight forward, right hand comes down to the ground or a block, twisted half moon. Keep lifting up through your back. through the glutes, the hamstrings. Trying to twist your left shoulder back, your right shoulder underneath. And if you want the challenge, trying to lighten your right hand on the surface that it's touching. Keep your arms wide, warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. Breathe in, exhale. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. You might stay with the arms wide, or you could reach them forward, trying to find one long line from the fingertips down to your toes. Keep the arms overhead, breathe in, land the right foot down, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, hands come down, step back into plank. Last time here before we slow things down quite a bit. Breathe in. Exhale. You go in your own time, checking in with your technique and your alignment along the way. Whew. That was tough. Let's bring our knees down, shift our hips back. Child's pose. You need a strong upper body, a strong core if Sirsasana is in your sight. So those movements would have helped with that. We're going to slow things down quite a bit. Come into tabletop again. Let's find puppy pose. Hips on top of the knees, reach your arms forward and then lower the chest in the direction of the ground. Bend the elbows, press the palms together, take the thumbs behind the back of the neck. So you're getting a bit more of a stretch through the triceps, back of the arms. There's no right or wrong, just go with what feels best for you today. You sink the heart down, the belly button down, in through the spine. If your elbows are bent, just lengthen them. Walk your hands back. Cross the right knee behind the left knee. Take your feet out really wide, so your left foot to the right, your right foot to the left. Note that a block could be handy here. Shift your hips back, maybe to a block, maybe the hover. Maybe you can get your hips all the way down to the ground for Gomukhasana, cow face pose. You're trying to get the left hip down to the ground if you are in this position. And if it doesn't, then maybe having a block underneath will help with this. Lean your upper body forward. If you felt like a little bit more upper body stretching, you could bend your right elbow. Maybe your left arm comes up and over to clasp on top, or you can wrap the left hand behind, binding it with the right hand. And if the right hand isn't quite accessible for you, you could hold on to your t-shirt, maybe a strap. Let's go 2 to 3 more breaths. If you've got the hands bound, then release them. Navasana, boat pose again. Unwind your legs. A couple of different options. You could just go through the one through center. If you felt like something different, you could take your feet wide. It might feel fun to hold on to maybe the shins, maybe the outsides of the feet. Try lift yourself up really tall. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. It's quite hard finding that balance on the pelvis. So if you're noticing that, then that's very normal. One more breath. If you've got the hands around the feet, maybe you hold here for what we do next. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to try land our feet forward and land in a wide-legged forward fold. It's a little bit easier for me because I'm on grass, but you might be on hard floors, and if you are, I'm sorry. Hands could be down. You could absolutely try keep the hands around the feet. Finding that tip from the hips again, so you're feeling the belly pull forward. Let's go one more breath. If you're wide, lift yourself up, maybe coming into Navasana one last time. Breathe in. Exhale, hold. Let's find our way into Gomukhasana again, cow face pose. So left foot crosses in front, right foot comes up and over. Remember, you might be lifted up off the ground. You might have a block underneath your hips. And keep trying to walk your feet across, because that's how we're going to get more of a stretch for the glutes. Maybe it's just you leaning forward, or if you wanted the arms, it will be left arm up, right arm either up or behind. Actively slow the breath down. Relax the jaw, relax the lips. One more breath. If you've got the hands behind you, release them. Shift your weight forward. Unwind the legs so you're back in tabletop position, and then from here, a couple of different options. We go back into puppy pose, or for anyone who wanted to try our Sirsasana, our headstand, I will guide us into that. So we want to make an equilateral triangle with our arms, the elbows being at the base and the hands and the head being at the top. What is quite common is that the elbows are quite wide here, which will reduce the base of support, make you more unstable. So tuck them inwards. Interlace your fingertips. Bring your head down to the ground. Tuck the chin in so that the flat part of your head is on, and you really want to make sure that each finger, each part of the palm is hugging the head. Once you get into this position, you might tuck onto the toes, lifting your hips up, and you want to keep walking your hips forward as much as you can. Now, this is where you might stay today, as you just find this weight on the head, lifting the shoulders away from the ears. But if you did feel like a little bit more, don't kick up. You want to pull one knee up into the chest, squeeze the foot in, and then maybe the other knee will meet it as well. So your hips will be stacked on top of your shoulders. Now this tuck, you might stay here. If you did feel like more, then one foot could lift up. And then maybe the other foot will lift up as well. So you're engaging the glutes, tucking the ribs towards the hips. So the core is active as well. Ooh. A bug just flew right into my face. Okay, but you get the gist. If you wanted to do that, then you could absolutely head into that direction as well. If you do manage to get up quite smoothly, try hold at the top for about 5 to 10 breaths. And when you do feel ready to come back down, lower yourself down slowly. Walk your hands back. Land on your hips. Extend your feet out long. This is just going to help as a counterpose to our headstand because it brings quite a lot of sensation to our head, our neck. Paschimottanasana, just like we did at the beginning. Inhale, lift up tall. As we exhale, folding forward. Another alternative here is child's pose. Two more slow breaths here. Walk your hands back. Let's lie down on our backs. If you wanted to pop on a layer, a jumper, some socks before we rest, we head in that direction, then feel free to. Let's twist. Either we can just draw the right knee up and over to the left. If you felt like something different, you could find your eagle legs or your cow face pose legs. So right knee on top of the left, and you might bind the right foot behind the left calf. Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, twist the leg or legs over to the left. Right hand reaching away. See if you can anchor the right shoulder in the direction of the ground. That's just going to help with the integrity of our twist even more. Let's go one more breath here. And come back through center. Let's swap it out to the other side. So either the left knee just twisting up and over, or you might cross the right knee behind it, wrapping the left foot around the back of the right calf. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out as you twist over to the right. One more breath. And coming back through center. If there are any final poses that you would like to finish your practice with, this is a great time to do so. What might feel nice is an inversion here, such as shoulder stand or halasana. Gosh, I have flies trying to keep coming into my mouth. It's gross, but that's what happens when you park yourself up with lots of wildflowers. If you are ready for Savasana, then you might have your legs out long. You might have the knees bent. Eyes closing down. Turning the gaze inwards again. We'll be here for a few minutes in quiet together, letting the body and the energy settle. I'll let you know when it's time to transition out on the other side. Let's bring our focus back inwards. Noticing the sound of the breath. Noticing where our mind might have traveled to when we introduce stillness. If you would like to stay here in Savasana for a little bit longer, then please feel free to. If you'd like to finish your practice in a seat, just start by slowly moving the body, and then eventually making our way up. Closing down the eyes again for the final few moments. Take this time to thank yourself for turning up. One thing that I'm learning quite a bit about at the moment in yoga philosophy is this idea of karma, which all of us, I'm sure, has heard of before. The idea that every action has a reaction or a consequence. So whenever we turn up on our mat, we're learning how to breathe properly, breathe in a way that is slow and regulated. We're helping to learn our body, to listen to our intuition, and that has a ripple effect. It has a reaction, a reverberation into our world off the mat. And you might not see that immediately, but trust that it happens. Maybe keeping the hands in the lap, we'll bring the hands through heart center. Take a deep breath in through the nose, lift up really tall. Deep breath out, let it go. Thank you everyone for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed the Mocha Flow. Let me know how you found the practice, and I will see you again sometime soon, whether that's here on YouTube or if you wanted some longer classes on Patreon, as well as some more community, more interaction, then that's a great place to head to, Patreon. Anyway, I'll see you again sometime soon.